the day the galaxy banned the wolves. The first sign that something was wrong was not the explosion. It was the silence. Above the human colony of New Haven, thousands of stars filled the black sky. The city below was still awake. Children were leaving schools. Cargo ships were landing. Families were eating dinner. Then every light in the sky went dark. One by one, the stars disappeared behind a wall of enormous alien warships. There were too many to count. The enemy fleet had arrived without warning. New Haven had no time to prepare. A deep alarm shook every building in the city. People stopped in the streets and looked upward. Then the first enemy ship fired. A bright beam crossed the sky and struck the outer defense ring. The shield broke apart in seconds. Panic spread across the colony. Inside the central command room, General Marcus Hale watched the battle screen with a frozen face. "How many ships?" he asked. His officer looked at the numbers. "At least 600. Marcus stared at him. 600. More are coming. Nobody spoke. New Haven had only 42 defense ships. It was not a battle. It was an execution. Another explosion rocked the command center. The lights flickered. A young officer ran toward Marcus. "General, the eastern shield is down. Evacuate the outer districts." "We can't." "Why?" "The enemy has blocked every escape route." Marcus looked at the screen. The alien fleet was moving closer. Their ships formed a perfect circle around New Haven. They were not simply attacking. They were trapping the entire colony. Then something even worse appeared. A message came through the emergency network. It was not from the enemy commander. It was from a human child. The signal was weak. Her voice shook as she spoke. "Please." Static filled the room. "Please help us." The message ended. Marcus closed his eyes for a moment. He knew what that meant. Thousands of civilians were trapped underground. The colony's main shelters were full. But there was one district that had not reached safety. The school district. More than 12,000 children were still inside. Marcus turned toward his officers. "Send every rescue ship." Captain shook his head. "They won't survive the outer defense line." "Send them anyway. They will be destroyed before they reach the shelters." Marcus slammed his hand against the table. "Then send the next group." The captain hesitated. "General." "What?" "There is another option." Marcus looked at him. The captain lowered his voice. "We could call them." The room became completely still. Nobody asked who he meant. They all knew. Marcus slowly shook his head. "No." The captain swallowed. "If we don't." "I said no." Another explosion struck the colony. The entire command center shook. The captain looked at the burning city outside. Then he whispered, "General, 12,000 children are down there." Marcus said nothing. For years, one name had been forbidden inside military command rooms across the galaxy. A name that had once made entire enemy armies surrender. A name that the Galactic Council had officially erased from every military record. The Wolves. Earth's Wolves. They were not the largest human force. They did not have the biggest ships. They did not use the most powerful weapons. But they had one rule. If they entered a battlefield to rescue someone, they stayed until everyone was safe. That rule had terrified the galaxy. 7 years earlier, the Galactic Council had banned the Wolves from operating outside Earth. The order had been simple. No wolf unit could enter another world. Earth had accepted. The wolves disappeared. Or at least that was what the galaxy believed. Marcus looked at the captain. "How many wolves are left?" The captain answered quietly. "We don't know. Find out." The officer moved toward the communication station. Then he stopped. "General." Marcus turned. "What?" "The wolves don't answer normal calls." Marcus stared at him. "Then use the old signal." The captain's face changed. Everyone in the room knew what that meant. The old signal had not been used in 7 years. It had been created for one situation only. When there was no army left. When there was no safe road. When innocent people were trapped and time was running out. The captain entered a code. A small red light appeared on the screen. For several seconds, nothing happened. Then the system replied. Signal received. Nobody breathed. Marcus leaned toward the screen. Who answered? The computer displayed a single word. Wolf. Outside, the enemy fleet continued its attack. Another defense ship exploded. The alien commander watched from his flagship. His name was Varric. He had studied human history. He knew the old stories. He also knew the wolves were gone. Increase the attack, Varric ordered. His officer hesitated. Commander, our scanners detected a transmission from the colony. Human military? No, Varric frowned. Then what? The officer looked confused. We don't know. Suddenly, every sensor on the alien flagship began to beep. One officer stood up. Commander! What? There is a ship behind us. Varric turned toward the main screen. First, he saw nothing. Then a small black shape appeared between the stars. It was moving toward them. Slowly. Silently. No escort. No weapons visible. Just one ship. Its hull carried a symbol the alien commander had not seen in years. A silver wolf. Varric's face lost its color. That is impossible. The ship opened a communication channel. A human voice came through. Calm. Cold. Almost gentle. This is Wolf 1. Varric stared at the screen. The human continued. You have 10 minutes to leave New Haven. The alien officers laughed. 600 warships surrounded the colony. One human ship was giving them a warning. Varric smiled. Tell the human that this world belongs to us now. The transmission remained open. The human voice answered. Understood. Then the screen went black. Varric waited for an attack. Nothing happened. He looked at his officers. Destroy the ship. Weapons locked onto the small human vessel. Missiles launched. But before they reached their target, the human ship vanished. Every alien sensor lost it. Where did it go? Nobody knew. Then an officer screamed. Commander! The main screen changed. Behind the alien fleet, hundreds of small signals had appeared. Then hundreds more. The ships were coming out of darkness. No warning. No sound. No visible engines. They had been hiding between the enemy fleet's own ships. Varric stared at the growing number of contacts. His hands slowly tightened around the command chair. One of his officers whispered, Commander, those aren't defense ships. Varric already knew. The silver wolf symbol appeared on every screen. One message followed. You were given a warning. The alien fleet suddenly understood the truth. Earth had not sent an army. Earth had sent the wolves. And the galaxy was about to learn why they had been banned. Why the galaxy feared the wolves. The alien fleet did not fire. For the first time since the invasion began, 600 warships stood completely still. No missiles moved. No weapons flashed. No commander gave an order. Every screen inside the flagship showed the same thing. Human ships. Hundreds of them. They had appeared from nowhere. Their dark hulls surrounded the alien fleet from every side. Varric stared at the tactical display. How many? The officer beside him checked the numbers twice. 382. Varric's eyes narrowed. Where did they come from? We don't know. How long have they been there? The officer's voice became quiet. According to the sensors. He stopped. Say it. They were already inside our formation. Varric stood up. That answer frightened him more than the ships themselves. An enemy could be dangerous. An enemy that could enter your fleet without being seen was something else. Open a channel. The communication screen came alive. A human woman appeared. She wore a simple black uniform. No medals. No rank symbols. Only a silver wolf on her shoulder. My name is Commander Elena Ward, she said. Varric recognized the face. Not from recent reports. From old military records. His eyes widened. You are supposed to be dead. Elena gave him a calm look. People have said that before. Varric leaned forward. The wolves were dissolved. They were. The council banned you. They did. Then why are you here? Elena looked toward the tactical screen. Because you attacked a school. Varric's expression hardened. That school belongs to a human colony. There are children inside. They are part of the colony. Elena said nothing. That silence lasted only 2 seconds. But Varric felt it like a threat. He finally understood something. The wolves had not come because New Haven was important. They had come because children were trapped there. Do you think you can defeat 600 ships with 300? Varric asked. Elena shook her head. No. The answer surprised him. Then you came here to die? No. She looked directly into the camera. We came here to take the children home. The channel ended. Varric turned toward his officers. Fire! The alien fleet finally moved. Thousands of weapons launched at once. The Black Wolf ships split apart. They did not run. They moved. Every human vessel changed direction at exactly the same moment. The first wave of missiles passed through empty space. The second wave followed. Again, nothing. The aliens began firing faster. Still nothing. Then one of the wolf ships appeared behind an enemy cruiser. A small pulse struck the cruiser. Its engines stopped. Another wolf vessel appeared beside it. Then another. Within seconds, 20 alien ships had lost power. No explosions. No burning metal. Just silence. Varric stared at the display. They are disabling us. His weapons officer looked confused. Why aren't they destroying the ships? Varric had no answer. Then another report came in. Commander, they are boarding the damaged vessels. What? Human teams are entering our ships. Varric looked at the screen. Small transport craft moved toward the disabled cruisers. The wolves were going inside. Not to kill. To rescue. That made no sense. Stop them. We are trying. The first human team reached an alien cruiser. Its doors opened. 6 wolves entered. They moved quickly through the dark corridors. At the end of the passage, they found a group of alien soldiers trapped behind a damaged door. The soldiers raised their weapons. The wolves did not fire. Their team leader lifted both hands. Your ship is losing pressure. The alien soldiers stared at him. Drop your weapons, he said. We will get you out. One alien refused. You are our enemy. The human nodded. Right now, you're also trapped. The alien slowly lowered his weapon. The wolves opened the door. They carried the injured soldiers to safety. Across the fleet, the same thing happened. The wolves disabled ships, removed weapons, saved wounded enemies, then moved toward the colony. Varric watched in disbelief. What are they doing? His chief officer answered. Something our reports never mentioned. What? They are not here to win. Varric looked at the screen. Then what are they here to do? The officer pointed toward New Haven. They are creating a path. That was exactly what the wolves were doing. Every disabled alien ship created another opening. Human rescue vessels began moving through those gaps. They headed toward the surface. But the enemy was not finished. Varric gave another order. Activate the ground batteries. Hundreds of weapons hidden around New Haven came online. The human rescue ships immediately changed course. A storm of energy beams crossed the sky. One wolf transport was hit. Its left engine exploded. The ship spun toward the ground. Inside, 11 wolves struggled to regain control. A young soldier looked at the pilot. Can we make it? The pilot checked the damaged controls. Not to the shelter. The soldier looked through the window. Below them was the school district. Thousands of children were still trapped. The pilot understood. He turned the damaged ship. Where are you going? Down. The transport dropped through the smoke. The wolves jumped before impact. The ship crashed into an empty street. The team landed between burning buildings. Their leader checked the area. Where's the school? A frightened child stepped from behind a wall. She pointed. There. The wolves moved. Inside the school, teachers had gathered children in a basement. Some were crying. Some were too shocked to speak. Then the doors opened. A wolf soldier stepped inside. A little boy looked at him. Are you the monsters? The soldier paused. No. Then who are you? The soldier smiled. People who came to get you. The children began moving toward them. Above the school, enemy weapons continued firing. The wolves knew they had very little time. Their rescue teams started moving the children toward underground tunnels. But there was a problem. The tunnels led directly beneath the enemy command zone. One of the wolves checked the map. "We can't use the main route." "Why?" "The enemy has sealed it." The team leader looked at the children. Then he noticed something on the old school map. A forgotten service tunnel. It had been closed for more than 20 years. There was only one way to reach it. Through the enemy-controlled district. The wolf commander took a breath. "Then that's where we're going." His second-in-command looked at him. "With 12,000 children?" The commander nodded. "With 12,000 children." Far above them, Varric watched the human movement on his tactical display. He saw the wolves entering the most heavily guarded part of the colony. Then something strange happened. His sensors picked up a new signal. Not from Earth. Not from New Haven. Came from deep space. The signal contained an old military code. Varric's face changed when he saw it. He knew that code. Every senior commander in the galaxy knew it. It was the code used during the last war involving the wolves. The code had only one meaning. A wolf unit was no longer operating alone. Varric looked at the stars. More signals began appearing. 1, then 5, then 20. His officer whispered, "Commander." Varric did not answer. The tactical screen continued filling with human ships. The wolves had been banned for 7 years. But someone had kept their old network alive. And now the galaxy was about to discover who had been waiting for the next emergency. Varric finally understood the terrible truth. The 300 ships around his fleet were not the main force. They were only the first wave. Deep in space, something much larger was coming. And it was heading straight for New Haven. The enemy made one mistake. The first thing Varric noticed was the silence. The human ships had stopped moving. For several seconds, nothing happened. No attack. No warning. No new transmission. The alien fleet waited. Then the deep space sensors detected a massive object entering the system. One officer stared at his screen. "Commander!" Varric turned. "What is it?" The officer looked afraid. "We have a problem." A shape appeared on the main display. It was enormous. Much larger than the wolf ships surrounding the fleet. Its outer shell was dark, with long lines of silver running across its surface. Varric had seen that design before. Not in battle. In history books. His voice became quiet. "The old human carrier." The officer nodded. "The same one." Varric took a step toward the screen. That ship had not been seen for almost a decade. The HMS Resolute. The first ship ever built for the wolves. It was not supposed to exist anymore. The Galactic Council had ordered it destroyed when the wolves were banned. But there it was, moving through space. Behind it came dozens of smaller vessels. Then hundreds. Varric suddenly understood the scale of the situation. The ships surrounding his fleet were not an army. They were a rescue screen. The real force had arrived. He quickly opened a channel. "Human Commander." Elena Ward appeared. Varric looked at her. "Your government has violated the Council's order." Elena did not react. "The Council can discuss that later. You are entering a restricted war zone." "We know. You have no authority here." Elena looked at him for a moment. "Neither do you." Varric's jaw tightened. "This colony belongs to the enemy." Elena's eyes became cold. "No." She pointed toward the planet behind her. "That colony belongs to the people living there." Varric ended the transmission. He was done talking. "Prepare the main weapons." His officers moved quickly. The alien fleet turned its largest guns toward the human carrier. The weapons began charging. Then the wolves moved. Not toward the enemy. Toward New Haven. Elena had seen the change in the enemy formation. She knew what Varric planned. "He's going to fire on the colony." Her tactical officer nodded. "We can intercept the shots." "Can we stop all of them?" "No." Elena looked down at the planet. "Then we don't stop all of them." She pointed toward the enemy fleet. "We remove the guns." The Wolf fleet changed formation. Hundreds of ships moved at once. The aliens opened fire. But the human vessels did not answer with missiles. They released thousands of small drones. The drones flew directly into the enemy formation. They attached themselves to weapon systems, power stations, navigation arrays, communication towers. One after another, alien ships lost control. The enemy fleet began falling apart from the inside. Varric shouted, "Destroy those drones." "We can't." "Why?" "They are inside our shields." Varric slammed his hand against the chair. He had expected a battle. Instead, the humans were taking his fleet apart piece by piece. But he had one advantage left. The ground weapon. The ancient weapon hidden beneath New Haven. It was still charging. Varric activated the system. A giant circle of light appeared beneath the colony. Elena saw it immediately. "How long?" Her officer checked the readings. 4 minutes. "Can we reach it?" "Not from orbit." Elena looked toward the planet. "Then we go down." She selected a small transport. Her second-in-command stared at her. "You are going personally? There are children down there." "Commander, the ground forces are still active." "I know." She turned toward the exit. "Then they will have to move." Meanwhile, beneath the school district, the Wolf rescue team reached the old service tunnel. The children were exhausted. Some could barely walk. The team had been moving for nearly an hour. Their leader, Sergeant Cole Mercer, noticed one little girl sitting alone. She was holding a broken toy. He crouched beside her. "What is your name?" "Lena." "Are you hurt?" She shook her head. "Where is your family?" The girl looked down. "My father stayed at the shelter." Cole understood. He had no way to promise that her father was alive. So he did not lie. "We'll look for him." The girl looked at him. "Really?" Cole nodded. "Really?" They continued. Then the tunnel shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. A Wolf soldier checked his scanner. "Enemy troops." "How many?" "At least 50. Cole looked at the children. There was nowhere to hide. He raised his weapon. "Everyone behind us." The alien soldiers entered the tunnel. They expected a fight. Instead, Cole stepped forward. "Let us pass." The alien commander aimed his weapon. "You are surrounded." Cole looked behind him at the children. "So are you." The alien commander frowned. "What?" Cole pointed toward the tunnel walls. "They are full of explosives." The alien soldiers froze. The Wolf soldier beside Cole whispered, "Are there really explosives?" Cole quietly answered, "No." The soldier looked at him in shock. Cole smiled slightly. "Not yet." The alien commander stared at him. For a few seconds, neither side moved. Then a small alien soldier noticed the children. One of them was crying. The alien lowered his weapon. His commander looked at him. "What are you doing?" The soldier answered quietly, "They are children." The commander hesitated. That single moment changed everything. He ordered his troops to move aside. The wolves continued through the tunnel. But one alien soldier followed them. Cole looked back. "Why are you coming?" The alien looked uncomfortable. "I don't know." "Then go back." The alien shook his head. "My commander is wrong." Cole studied him. "What is your name?" "Jalen." Cole nodded. "Stay close." Above them, Elena's transport entered the atmosphere. Enemy fighters rushed toward her. She did not slow down. The fighters fired. Wolf escort ships intercepted the shots. One fighter got through. It locked onto Elena's transport. Then another ship appeared. The HMS Resolute. Its massive hull moved between them. The enemy fighter fired. The blast hit the carrier. The Resolute barely moved. Elena looked back. "How bad?" Her pilot checked the system. "Outer armor damaged." "Keep going." The pilot smiled. "That's what the wolves built this ship for." They dropped toward New Haven. Then the ground weapon reached 70% power. A deep sound spread through the planet. Every human and alien on the surface felt it. The ancient machine was waking up. Elena landed near the main command center. She stepped outside. The city was burning. Smoke covered the streets. But somewhere beneath the ground, thousands of children were moving towards safety. She opened a communication line. "Cole, report." Static answered. Then his voice came through. "We found another problem." Elena looked toward the sky. "What?" "The tunnel ends at the enemy command bunker." She froze. That bunker contained the control system for the ancient weapon. Elena understood immediately. The children were trapped beneath the one place the enemy would never allow anyone to enter. She looked at her team. "How many guards?" Cole answered. "Too many." Elena checked her weapon. "Then we'll need more." Behind her, the alien officer Jalen stepped forward. "I can help." Elena looked at him. "Why?" Jalen glanced at the burning city. "Because I believed your people were monsters." He looked toward the tunnel. "I was wrong." Elena gave a small nod. "Then prove it." At that moment, every communication channel across New Haven opened. Varric's face appeared on every screen. He had one final message. "Humans, surrender." Elena looked up at the nearest screen. Varric continued. "If you refuse, the weapon will destroy this colony." Elena stared at him. Then she smiled. Not because she had won. Because Varric had just made the one mistake the wolves had been waiting for. He had revealed where the weapon was controlled. Elena turned toward the tunnel entrance. "Everyone moves." The wolves disappeared underground. And for the first time, Varric realized the truth. He had not trapped the humans. He had just shown them exactly where to strike. The weapon that should have ended humanity. The tunnel was dark. Only the small lights on the wolves' helmets showed the way. Elena moved at the front. Behind her came 6 wolf soldiers, followed by Jalen and 2 alien prisoners who had decided to help the humans. Farther back, hundreds of children were being guided through another tunnel toward the evacuation zone. Every second mattered. The ancient weapon beneath New Haven was already at 80% power. Elena checked the time. "How long?" Her officer looked at the scanner. 3 minutes. "Then we have 3 minutes." Jalen looked at her. "What happens when the weapon reaches full power?" Elena did not stop walking. "The colony dies. And everyone on it?" "Everyone." Jalen became silent. He had served the enemy fleet for 11 years. He had followed orders without asking questions. But now he was walking beside the people his commanders had called dangerous. The tunnel suddenly shook. A loud blast came from ahead. The wolves stopped. Elena raised her hand. Everyone froze. A second explosion followed. Dust filled the passage. Jalen looked at his scanner. "Security door." Elena stepped forward. A huge metal door blocked the tunnel. Beyond it was the enemy command bunker. She looked at her engineer. "Can you open it?" The engineer examined the control panel. "Not from here." "Then break it." He smiled. "That I can do." The wolves placed a small device against the door. Everyone moved back. A soft click followed. The door opened. No explosion. No warning. Just silence. Elena looked inside. The bunker was empty. That worried her. "Too easy," she said. Jalen nodded. "They were waiting for you." Suddenly, the lights came on. Hundreds of weapons pointed toward the wolves. Alien soldiers filled the room. Elena slowly lowered her rifle. The enemy commander stepped forward. He was not Varric. He was an older alien wearing a black uniform. Jalen stared at him. "General Kor." Kor smiled. "So you finally chose the humans." Jalen said nothing. Kor looked at Elena. "You should have stayed away." Elena glanced at the weapon systems around them. "You're protecting a machine that will kill your own soldiers." Kor shook his head. "They are acceptable losses." Jalen looked shocked. "Thousands of our people are still in this fleet. Then they will become heroes." Kor's voice was cold. Elena understood. This was not about defeating Earth. The enemy leadership was willing to destroy its own fleet to make the humans look responsible. She stepped closer. "You wanted this." Kor smiled. "You don't understand." He pointed toward the massive control screen. The display showed the entire battle. Human ships, alien ships, The burning colony. Every camera was transmitting to the Galactic Council. Core explained, "The Council believes this is an attack by Earth." Elena stared at the screen. "The Council is watching? Every second." Core laughed. "When the weapon destroys New Haven, they will blame your wolves." Jalen's face turned pale. "That was the plan?" Core looked at him. "It has always been the plan." Elena slowly understood the full trap. The enemy had not simply attacked New Haven. They had created a situation where the galaxy would see humans as the aggressors. Then they would use the ancient weapon to destroy the colony. After that, the enemy would claim Earth had lost control of its banned soldiers. The Council would have a reason to attack Earth. One battle could become a galactic war. Elena looked at Core. "Why?" He smiled. "Because your species is growing too powerful." The bunker fell quiet. Core continued. "Humans explore faster than anyone. You build faster. You recover faster. You adapt to worlds that kill other species." He stepped closer. "The galaxy is afraid of what you will become." Elena's expression did not change. "So you decided to kill innocent people." Core shrugged. "Fear makes people reasonable." Jalen stepped forward. "No." Core looked at him. "Fear makes people dangerous." Jalen raised his weapon. The alien soldiers around him aimed theirs. For a moment nobody moved. Then Core gave the order. "Fire." The room exploded into chaos. The wolves moved instantly. They did not stand still and trade shots. They scattered. One soldier rolled behind a control station. Another pulled Jalen behind cover. Elena fired at the weapon system above Core. Sparks fell from the ceiling. Core escaped through a side door. "Don't let him reach the control room," Elena shouted. The wolves pushed forward. Jalen grabbed a fallen weapon. He had never fought beside humans before, but now he moved with them. He covered one wolf soldier. The soldier looked at him. "Thanks." Jalen nodded. "Keep moving." The fight lasted less than a minute. The enemy guards were defeated, but the weapon was still charging. 92%. Elena ran toward the main console. Her engineer followed. "Can you shut it down?" "I can try." "Try faster." He connected his device. The system rejected it. He tried again. Nothing. Locked. Elena looked at the screen. "What does it need?" The engineer studied the data. "A command key." "Where?" He pointed toward the upper platform. "Core has it." Elena looked across the room. The general was already running. She chased him. They entered a narrow corridor. Core reached the end first. He turned. "You are too late." He held a small device in his hand. Elena stopped. "What does that do?" Core smiled. "Activates the final stage." He pressed the button. The entire bunker shook. The weapon reached 99%. A countdown appeared. 0:30. Elena raised her weapon. "Drop it." Core laughed. "You won't shoot." "Why?" "Because your people are still beneath this city." Elena looked at the countdown. 25 seconds. Core had made one mistake. He thought the wolves were afraid to make hard choices. He had never understood them. Elena lowered her weapon. Core smiled. Then she suddenly moved. She threw her weapon aside and rushed forward. Core fired. The shot missed. Elena struck his arm. The control device flew across the floor. Both reached for it. 10 seconds. 9, 8. Jalen entered the corridor. He saw the device. He jumped. He caught it. The countdown reached 5. Jalen looked at Elena. "What do I do?" Elena shouted. "Break it." Jalen slammed the device against the wall. It shattered. The countdown stopped. For 1 second, everything was silent. Then the entire bunker began shaking violently. Elena looked at the control screen. The weapon had not shut down. Instead, its power was rising again. The engineer stared at the numbers. "Commander!" "What?" "The weapon has switched to automatic." Elena looked at the screen. "Can you stop it?" He shook his head. "No." The weapon had entered its final stage. There was only one way to redirect its energy. Someone had to enter the core chamber manually. Jalen looked toward the sealed door. Is there another way? The engineer shook his head. Once someone enters, the door locks. Elena understood what that meant. The person who entered would not come back. Jalen stepped forward. I'll do it. Elena stopped him. No. You have children outside. So do you. Jalen looked at her. For the first time, Elena saw no fear in his eyes. Only determination. Then a new message appeared on the screen. It was not from the enemy. It was from the Galactic Council. All human forces are ordered to surrender immediately. Elena stared at the message. The Council still believed the trap. They still believed Earth was responsible. Outside, thousands of children waited for rescue. Inside, the weapon had less than 1 minute. And somewhere above the colony, hundreds of human ships were receiving the same order. Elena looked at her soldiers, then at Jalen, then at the countdown. She finally understood that saving New Haven was no longer enough. They had to save the truth too. She opened a private channel to every wolf ship. Her voice was calm. Do not surrender. The soldiers listened. We were banned because the galaxy feared what we could do. She looked toward the burning city. Tonight, they will learn what we choose to do. The core chamber opened. Bright energy flooded the corridor. Elena stepped toward it. Jalen followed. The door began closing behind them. And just before the seal locked, Elena heard a message from orbit. A wolf pilot shouted through the radio, Commander, the Council fleet has arrived. Elena looked upward. More than 1,000 alien ships had entered the system. They were not there to help. They were there to arrest Earth. The galaxy had chosen its side. And now the wolves had only seconds to prove that the galaxy had chosen wrong. The wolves' last stand. The Council fleet arrived above New Haven like a second storm. More than 1,000 ships filled the sky. Their colors were different. Their purpose was not. Every weapon was pointed toward Earth. Inside the Wolf command ship, officers watched the new fleet appear on their screens. Nobody spoke. The order from the Galactic Council was clear. All human forces had to surrender. If they refused, the Council would open fire. Commander Elena Ward was still inside the core chamber. The door had sealed behind her. Jalen stood beside her. Between them was the ancient weapon. Its power was rising again. The chamber was filled with white light. Elena checked the control panel. How long? Jalen looked at the countdown. 40 seconds. Can you shut it down? No. Redirect it? Maybe. Elena turned toward him. Maybe isn't enough. Jalen gave a tired smile. It is the best answer I have. Outside the chamber, Sergeant Cole Mercer received the Council transmission. A cold voice filled the command room. Human forces, lower your weapons immediately. Cole looked at the main screen. The Council fleet was preparing to attack. One of his officers asked, What do we do? Cole thought about the children. Then he remembered Elena's final order. Hold position. But they outnumber us. I know. They can destroy this entire fleet. Cole looked at the wolf symbol on his uniform. Then we make sure they have to look us in the eye first. The Council fleet moved closer. Their weapons began charging. Then something unexpected happened. A small alien ship moved between the Council and the humans. The ship belonged to Jalen's people. Its commander opened a public channel. This attack is wrong. The Council demanded identification. The alien commander gave his name. Then he sent them something. A recording. It showed General Core explaining the plan. It showed the enemy creating the false attack. It showed the ancient weapon. It showed Core admitting that New Haven was meant to be destroyed so the galaxy would blame Earth. The recording spread across every Council ship. For several seconds, nobody moved. Then another alien vessel joined the first. Then another. The Council fleet began to divide. Some ships lowered their weapons. Others remained aimed at Earth. Inside the enemy command bunker, Core watched the broadcast. His face turned pale. Stop that transmission. His officers looked at him. We can't. Destroy the signal. It is coming from hundreds of ships. Core suddenly understood. His perfect plan was falling apart. But he still had one weapon, the ancient machine. If New Haven died, the truth might no longer matter. He activated an emergency control. The weapon's power jumped again. Inside the core chamber, Elena felt the entire structure shake. Jalen nearly fell. It's starting. Elena grabbed the console. The energy level had reached critical. A deep sound filled the chamber. The machine was preparing to fire. Elena looked at the controls. There has to be a manual path. Jalen pointed toward a narrow passage. There. A small door had opened. Beyond it was a narrow bridge leading directly toward the center of the weapon. Elena stepped forward. Jalen stopped her. Wait. She turned. The bridge is unstable. Then we move quickly. They crossed. The floor shook beneath their feet. Energy flashed around them. Halfway across, the bridge cracked. Jalen grabbed the side rail. Elena reached for him. For a second, he hung over the glowing chamber. She pulled him up. They continued. At the center was a small control platform. Elena examined it. This can redirect the weapon. Jalen looked relieved. Then do it. She tried. The system rejected her command. She tried again. Still nothing. A message appeared. Authorization required. Jalen looked at her. Core. Elena nodded. The system still needs his command. They looked back toward the entrance. Core was standing there. He had followed them. His weapon was raised. You are finished. Elena turned. Give us the code. Core laughed. You think I would save you? No. Elena looked at the weapon. You are going to save yourself. Core frowned. What? Elena pointed at the readings. If this weapon fires from inside the planet, the energy will tear apart the control core. Core's face changed. You are lying. Check the numbers. He looked. His expression slowly collapsed. The machine had become unstable. If it fired, New Haven would die. But the bunker would die with it. Core had not planned for that. He had expected to escape after the colony was destroyed. Now there was nowhere to run. Jalen stepped forward. Give us the code. Core raised his weapon. You think the galaxy will forgive humans? Elena answered. No. She looked at him. But they might forgive the truth. Core fired. Jalen pushed Elena aside. The shot struck him. He fell. Elena caught him. Jalen. He looked at the wound. I'm fine. You are bleeding. I've had worse. Core ran toward the control platform. Elena chased him. They fought beside the glowing core. Core was stronger. He pushed Elena backward. She hit the wall. The control panel flashed. 10 seconds. Core reached for the final command. Elena grabbed his arm. He tried to pull away. She held on. 9 seconds. 8. Jalen forced himself upright. He saw the control device. Then he saw the code. Core's access key was still active. Jalen reached for the console. 7 seconds. 6. He entered the command. The machine stopped. Silence. Elena stared at the display. The weapon was no longer charging. But it had not been shut down. Instead, the energy had begun moving somewhere else. Jalen looked at the new readings. Where is it going? Elena's eyes widened. Space. The weapon had redirected its power away from New Haven. It was sending the energy into empty space. A huge beam erupted from the planet, crossed the sky, then vanished into the darkness. Every ship in the system saw it. For a moment, the galaxy stood still. Then the weapon began to collapse. The core chamber shook violently. Elena grabbed Jalen. Move! They ran. Behind them, the machine broke apart. The chamber filled with smoke. The tunnel collapsed. Above the planet, wolf ships began retreating. But one ship did not move. The HMS Resolute remained between New Haven and the Council fleet. The captain opened a public channel. This is Wolf 1. The Council commander answered. Stand down. The captain refused. We have civilians aboard. We will not fire if you surrender. The captain looked at the burning planet below. Then at the approaching enemy ships. We're not surrendering. The council commander warned him. Your ship will be destroyed. The captain smiled. Then remember what happened next. The Resolute accelerated. It flew directly toward the enemy fleet. Hundreds of wolf ships followed. The council commander ordered his ships to prepare. But before anyone fired, the alien fleet began moving too. One by one, alien ships joined the human formation. Then more. The council fleet suddenly faced a combined force. Humans and aliens. Enemies who had been fighting each other minutes earlier. Now standing together. Inside the damaged bunker, Elena helped Jalen toward the surface. Cole's voice came through her communicator. "Commander, are you alive?" Elena smiled. "Still here." Cole laughed. "We thought you were gone." "Not yet." Then he became serious. "There's a problem." Elena stopped walking. "What happened?" "The council wants to speak with you." "Why?" Cole hesitated. "They have seen the recording." Elena looked toward the sky. Thousands of ships were still gathered above New Haven. But their weapons were no longer aimed at Earth. For the first time since the invasion began, the galaxy was listening. Then Cole added, "There's something else." "What?" "The council has officially removed the order to arrest the wolves." Elena said nothing. The war was almost over. But one question remained. Why had the council banned the wolves in the first place? The answer was about to come from the oldest surviving member of the Galactic Council. And what he revealed would change how the galaxy saw humanity forever. Far away, General Kor was taken into custody. The children were finally brought out of the underground shelters. Lena found her father alive. She ran into his arms. Cole watched from a distance. For the first time that day, he allowed himself to smile. Above them, the wolf ships began leaving New Haven. But they did not return to Earth. They stayed in orbit. Because the council had called an emergency meeting. And this time, the wolves were not standing outside the door. They were being invited inside. Why the galaxy finally understood. The council chamber had never been this quiet. Representatives from hundreds of worlds sat beneath the great silver dome. For generations, this place had been a symbol of power. Today, it felt different. Every screen showed the same images. New Haven burning. Children being rescued, General Kor admitting the truth, and human ships standing beside alien vessels. The galaxy had watched everything. There was nowhere left to hide. At the center of the chamber stood Commander Elena Ward. Beside her was Jalen. His wound had been treated, but he still looked tired. Across from them sat the oldest member of the Galactic Council, Elder Soren. He had served the council for more than 80 years. His voice was weak, but every representative became silent when he spoke. The ban against Earth's wolves was a mistake. Nobody moved. Elena looked at him. Why was it made? Soren lowered his eyes. Because we were afraid. A few representatives shifted in their seats. Soren continued. Not of your weapons. He looked directly at Elena. Of your choice. Elena frowned. What choice? Soren touched the control panel. A very old recording appeared above the chamber. The video showed a planet covered in smoke. Human soldiers were moving through ruined streets. Behind them were thousands of civilians. The recording was almost 20 years old. Soren explained. This was the first time the galaxy saw the wolves. The recording showed a human commander standing before a group of alien prisoners. The prisoners expected execution. Instead, the human soldiers gave them food, then medical treatment, then a safe route home. The council members watched silently. Soren continued. During the Karen War, the wolves defeated an entire enemy army. A representative interrupted. We already know that. No, Soren replied. You know what was reported. The recording changed. The real story appeared. The alien army had been surrounded. Its soldiers had no food. Many were injured. The wolves could have destroyed them. Instead, they offered surrender terms. The enemy commander refused. He ordered another attack. The wolves defended themselves. Thousands of enemy soldiers died. But when the battle ended, the wolves still rescued the survivors. Soren looked around the chamber. That was when the council became afraid. Why? Jalen asked. Soren looked at him. Because we understood that humans were not fighting for conquest. He paused. They were fighting because they believed someone had to protect the helpless. Elena understood. The galaxy could predict an empire, could predict a greedy ruler. It could understand a species that wanted more territory. But humans were different. Their strongest soldiers did not want worlds. They wanted people. Soren continued. We feared that if the wolves entered every conflict, they would change the balance of power. A representative from the Zareth world stood. You banned them because they helped people? Soren nodded. Yes. The representative looked disgusted. That was cowardice. The chamber became silent again. Soren did not argue. It was. Elena looked at him. Then why bring us here now? Soren answered without hesitation. Because we finally saw what happens when the galaxy has no wolves. The screens changed again. New Haven appeared. The children. The burning city. The alien soldiers who had surrendered. The human ships protecting civilians. Soren spoke softly. We built laws to control power. He looked at Elena. But we forgot that power can also be used to protect. Elena said nothing. Then Jalen stepped forward. I believed the wolves were monsters. Everyone looked at him. I was trained to fear them. He looked around the chamber. But I watched them save my soldiers. He touched the wound on his side. They saved me. His voice became stronger. And they saved people who were trying to kill them. He turned toward Elena. I want my world to understand that. One representative asked. Then what do the wolves want? Elena answered simply. Nothing. The representative looked surprised. No territory? No. Military control? No. Special rights? No. Then why fight? Elena looked at the screens. Because there are people who cannot fight for themselves. Nobody spoke. That answer stayed in the room. Then the council leader stood. The ban is officially removed. A wave of whispers moved through the chamber. The wolves may operate in any world where their help is requested. Elena shook her head. Not any world. The council leader frowned. Why? Because we don't want to become an army that goes wherever it wants. She looked toward the other representatives. We need permission from the people we are helping. The council leader smiled for the first time. Agreed. A new treaty was created that day. It was called the Rescue Accord. Its purpose was simple. Any world facing a disaster could request help from the wolves. The wolves would enter only to protect civilians, rescue survivors, and stop those who used innocent lives as weapons. They would not take land. They would not rule. They would leave when the people were safe. Jalen became the first alien officer to join the new Wolf Command. His decision shocked his home world, but it also inspired others. Within months, several alien worlds created their own rescue teams. They trained with human soldiers. They learned how to enter dangerous areas. They learned emergency medicine. They learned how to protect people without becoming conquerors. The galaxy slowly changed, not because humans forced it to change, because other worlds had finally seen another way. Weeks later, New Haven began rebuilding. The school that had been damaged during the invasion opened again. The children returned. Lena walked through the front doors holding her father's hand. Outside, Cole Mercer stood beside a wolf transport. Lena recognized him. She ran toward him. You came back. Cole smiled. I said I would. She looked at the silver wolf on his uniform. Are you a monster? Cole laughed. No. She smiled. Good. Then she hugged him. Cole looked away for a moment. He had faced armies. He had walked through burning cities. But that small hug almost broke him. Across the street, Elena watched quietly. Jalen stood beside her. You know, he said, the galaxy still fears you. Elena smiled. That's fine. Why? Fear is not the important part. Jalen looked at her. What is? Elena watched the children playing near the repaired school. Trust. Above them, a wolf ship prepared to leave. Its silver symbol reflected the sunlight. The same symbol that had once terrified the galaxy. Now it meant something different. Not war. Not destruction. Protection. The wolves had never needed the galaxy to love them. They only needed someone to call when the darkness became too strong. As the ship disappeared into the clouds, Elena received a new message. Another world was asking for help. A storm had destroyed 3 cities. Thousands were trapped. She looked at Jalen. Ready. He smiled. Always. The wolf ship turned toward the stars. And this time nobody tried to stop it. The galaxy had finally learned the truth. Earth's wolves were never dangerous because they loved war. They were dangerous to anyone who believed innocent lives could be treated as worthless. And that was why the galaxy had once banned them. It was also why, in the end, the galaxy needed them. Moral. Real strength is not about having the power to destroy others. It is about having that power and choosing to protect instead. The wolves showed the galaxy that courage is not measured by how many enemies a person can defeat. It is measured by how far someone is willing to go for those who cannot protect themselves. Sometimes the strongest person in the room is not the one holding the biggest weapon. It is the one who looks at a frightened child and says, "Don't worry, someone came for you." And when people choose to protect instead of control, fear can slowly become trust, enemies can become allies, and even the darkest world can find a reason to hope. Thanks for watching. See you in next video.